Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing very well. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I made this lovely steampunk dress that I started about, God, it must be nearly 2 years or more since I started this dress. It was when the Beast from the East came in Ireland. That was the big snowstorm, in case you didn't know, or if you've been living under a rock. We were snowed in for, I'd say, about 3 weeks. The snow was 8 foot tall in some places, and where I lived the roads weren't very safe, so I basically spent 3 weeks confined to the house. And whenever there's like an electricity storm where there's no electricity or the electricity gets knocked out, I will spend like easily 12 hours a day just reading books every day until the power comes back on. I don't do anything else. But because we had power during the snowstorm, I didn't read. What I did instead was I played a copious amount of Rune Factory 4 on the 3DS, and I really missed that game. I should really invest in a 3DS so that I can play it for myself instead of borrowing other people's. So I was playing loads of Rune Factory, and near the end of the snowstorm I got really fed up and I realised that I could have spent the time a lot more productively, so I decided I'm gonna make a steampunk dress because I've been dabbling around with this idea for a long time. Like my Dungeons and Dragons original character Pinky from the D&D campaign that I play up in Dublin, she's a halfling rogue. This is kind of the outfit that I always pictured her to wear, just with substantially more pockets and, you know, like a tool belt and stuff. But this would have been the outfit. And when I was looking online for steampunk dresses, there wasn't really anything that was floating my boat. There was a lot of heavy corsetry and bustles, which is, you know, in keeping with the times. I wanted something a little bit more, not quite, something softer is what I mean, and more like kind of pretty and frilly and feminine. So I started this dress, and over the course of the last 2 years I've just been fiddling away at it, and I finally decided to take it out of the box of shame and finish it for good. And this is the result. So I have these sleeves are actually, this is a thrifted blouse that I got in a charity shop in Enniscorthy about a year or two ago as well, and this is just under it because the dress comes down a little bit too low for my liking. I mean, it's fine if you have like bigger boobs, but I was not blessed in that department, so I have my nice little frilly shirt for modesty and my sleeves, and it's made out of like a kind of wool blend fabric, so it's really warm. I have my kind of tea-stained lace. I tea-stained the lace myself, and there's no boning, but it has like a false corset look in the back, in the front I should say, not the back, and it's got a gathered skirt. So let's have a look at how I put this together. So I've popped the dress up on the mannequin just to get a better look at what needs to be done. So straight off the bat I can see that the lining is sewn in, but there's no zipper on the front, so we need to put in the zipper here. And then we need to finish off the sleeves. I'm going to add some lace trim to those, and we need to also finish off the bottom hem. The lining needs to be hemmed, and I'll put lace trim on the outer hem. And as far as the back goes, everything's okay on the back. You know, the seams are sitting nicely, it's gathered, but we're going to start with the zipper. So to start off, I'm going to pin my zipper right sides together onto the wool outer shell of the dress. I'm not going to sew it down to both because I want this to be as invisible as possible. And once I have it pinned down and in place in such a way that I am happy with, I'm going to sew it. In order to keep the dress tidy, I'm going to just put a small rolled hem on the armholes of the lining just because I haven't attached them to the armholes of the outer shell. So to give the front a much nicer look, what I've done is I've created loops from old bits of bias binding, and I've pinned them down and covered them over with a kind of steampunky leather, fake leather trim. And what I can do is I can put a close-up at the end of what that looks like of the trim, and I'm just going to sew that down to the front of the dress. I've tea stained some lace trim for the armholes, and I'm just going to pin that right sides together on the sleeves, and I'm going to sew it around. I'm just creating a large rolled hem on the lining of the skirt, and I'm just going to sew that around. So I've taken the same tea stained lace as the sleeves, and I'm pinning right sides together to the bottom hem of the dress, and I'm going to sew all the way around in one big go, and then just combine the two edges at the end. So there you have it. That's how I finished off my dress. I didn't film this like from the full start to finish the way I would with normal things, purely because I started it long before I ever started YouTube or had any inkling to start YouTube. So that's why I just filmed the finishing touches. And I suppose because it's not like a tutorial or a sew along, the reason why I filmed this was to hold myself accountable and actually make myself finish the dress. Because in the back of my head I was like, right, if I film it, I'll work on it, and if I have it up for you guys at least, then I have more of a motivation to finish it rather than just leaving it in the box of shame and saying, I'll get back to that later. You know, I find sometimes if I have like other people waiting on me, or other people like wanting something from me, it pushes me more than if I'm just doing it out of my own volition. Sometimes, not always. Sometimes if I'm really into a project, I'll just dive right in, but procrastination, we all have our own ways of getting through it. and we all procrastinate a lot, just in different ways. So I'm definitely gonna put pockets in for sure. There's no way this dress could not have pockets. So I'm gonna go back and add in a load of pockets. And I'm just really glad that this dress is finished because it's been in the pipeline for a long time now. And at one point I had actually given up on it for a long time, but to see it finished now is really making me happy, and it fits well. I have lots of mobility in the shoulders. It's not too tight, because sometimes what I find is I make dresses and sometimes the shoulders are a bit tight or there's not as much movement, whereas this I can literally full shoulder mobility, which means it's going to be comfortable to drive in, it's going to be comfortable to do work in. I can reach up and grab stuff in the supermarket in the top shelf, whereas store-bought dresses as well, sometimes I find if with like little puff sleeves like this, they're quite tight here, so you can only get your arm up about here before it starts like digging in because there's not enough room in the shoulders. And I also find that through pole dancing my shoulders are getting a little bit bigger from like just muscles. Yeah, big and strong. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's not quite a full like tutorial or anything, but it's nice to see the process and to know that even if something doesn't work out for you the first couple of times, just keep coming back to it and don't give up until it's done, and you might even surprise yourself with the results. So I'm gonna leave it there because I'm getting a bit rambly and my focus isn't good today. I'm quite tired. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, share with your friends, have a laugh if you want, but yeah, definitely. And if there's any sewing tutorials in the future that you'd like me to cover, or if there's any content you'd like to see on this channel, feel free to link me to your ideas, tag me and stuff, comment. You know, I like hearing people's feedback, so if there's ever a video that you would like me to cover, if I'm able to cover it, if it's within my ability range, absolutely I will. And just, you know, enjoy yourself. Let's have fun with this whole YouTube adventure thing. It's definitely different. I'm getting into the hang of it now. I feel that even though I'm rambling today, it's not as hard for me to talk to the camera, whereas in the first couple of videos I had to constantly stop and start because I was choking on my words, I was stuttering, I was really nervous, whereas I feel like the nerves are going now, and that's really nice. So I'm gonna leave it there, guys, otherwise my video is gonna be way too long. So take care of each other, be nice, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!